Shalom Uvracha. One of the biggest challenges that almost all of us need to somehow cope with, to handle, is the challenge of how do we make sure that the important things in our own lives actually get done. Very often we find ourselves challenged by the urgent things that push aside the things that we think are really important. We might have a list, a to-do list of really important things, whether it's related to ourselves, family, community, whatever it might be, but they get pushed aside by things that are urgent, that need to be done now. And the important things are not necessarily now. They're generally important. How do we make sure that we get to the really important things and that they're not pushed aside by the urgent? I think the Torah in the Parashas Emor, when it speaks about the Moadim, Moadei Hashem, has a lesson for us in this question, in this special challenge. And that's in the word Moed itself. The Moadim are called by three specific terms. One of them is a Chag, a festival. And the Chag comes from the word Chug, like Chug Haaretz or Machog, meaning something circular. There's a cycle of the year. The Chagim come again, part of the yearly cycle. They occur every year in a cycle. And that's why it's called a Chag. On the other hand, the Moadim are also called Mikra'ei Kodesh, because the HaKadosh Baruch Hu calls us. He calls us to encounter Him, to encounter Kedusha on these Moadim. But the main name, the principal name by which the Torah refers to the festivals is the word Moed. And I heard many times from Meiri V'Rebbe, Rav Moshe Shapira, Zechronu Livracha, who used to say that the word Moed is from the same root as the word Ya'ad. Ya'ad meaning a purpose, a destiny. Each one of the Moadim brings us to a certain destiny that we need to fulfill when we reach the Moed. Pesach is a destiny of emunah, of internalizing the basic faith, the basic emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which we get when we come out of Mitzrayim every year. Shavuos is a time of receiving Torah, when we receive our purpose in our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is defined by the Torah. And Sukkot is a time of closeness, of intimacy with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a time when we give Hashem our absolute trust, and He reciprocates by giving us His supervision, His closeness, even when we are unprotected, we're exposed to the elements, and nonetheless HaKadosh Baruch Hu protects us, just as He did in the wilderness for 40 years. Those are the basic ideas, the concepts that we need to internalize in the Moadim. In these are the Yu'udim, a Yu'ud, a destiny that we reach each time that we meet, that we encounter these Moadim. And the word Moed is not just Ya'ad, but it also means a fixed time. The Pasuk says in Megillas Eicha, Kara alai Moed lishbar bachurai, Rachmana litzlan, a Moed, a fixed time for the calamity of the Churban. Meaning, the word Ya'ad, a destiny, something that I need to achieve, that I need to reach, is also called a Moed, a fixed time. The idea of something which is crucial, a destiny, a purpose, is synonymous with, goes together with a fixing of a time, to teach us that time itself in the Torah brings us to these destinies. They're fixed within time, within the framework of time that Klal Yisrael lives in. The time itself leads up to these destinies. Make sure that we reach them. They're fixed into the fabric of time itself. And I think this teaches us a lesson, lahavdil, even for those important things that are not one of the destinies of the Torah, but the basic things that are important for us. And they're important, of course, for the Torah too, whether it's time with our kids or family or community or any important thing that we want to do. We learn from Parashas Emor that it's not enough, it's not sufficient to put these things on a to-do list. If you just have them on the list, they can get pushed down the list by the things that are more urgent. We need to fix a time for them. They have to be a part of our calendar. They need to be a part of time itself in the sense that we build up towards them. The time leads up towards that vacation or that task that has to be done, whatever it is that I want to make sure I do, that is truly important for me, make sure that it's a part of the time framework in which we live, in which I live, and not only as a list where it can go down the list. That's what the Torah does with the Moadim. The word moed, a fixed time, is synonymous, goes together with the word ya'ad, a destiny. And the first of them is Shabbos. What would we do without Shabbos? If Shabbos wouldn't be fixed, the seventh day of each and every week, then we would miss out on the tremendous virtue, on the tremendous elevation that we experience each Shabbos, that we experience the closeness of the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world, in our lives, that we're able to take a step back from our creativity, a step towards modesty, a step towards appreciation, the completeness of the world, of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's world. All of these ideas that we internalize each week, we would miss out on if it wouldn't be fixed into our calendars. One day a week. We know Shabbos is Yom Kadosh LaHashem. The same thing. For those things that are important to us, we have to make sure that they're fixed within a cycle of time, within the framework that we live in, the time framework, not just on the list, but a part of our calendar. We should all have a wonderful Shabbos.